Hey, we here. Episode 1, no pump fakes. Let's get it started.
Long time
What's
coming.
good, Ahmad? What's good, man? You already know. Yes, sir. Long time coming, man. Episode 1 is here.
How you feeling? You feeling good?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling wonderful, man. It was a long time coming. But let's get right into it, man. Bucks, Nets. Talk to me.
It's over. It's just right then and there. I think it's over. I think Game 3 is very important for the Milwaukee Bucks. If they don't win Game 3, they're getting swept, in my opinion. Hopefully that's not the case because I want to see a great series. I said that the Milwaukee Bucks can push it to at least 7 games, but if they lose Game 3, get the brooms ready. How you feeling about the series so far?
It came out guns blazing. All I want to do was just talk about the series at first, and then let's hop into predictions. But if that's the energy you want to start off with, let's get it going. Game 2 is crazy. I think, KD just, obviously went off. I mean, that the entire game, looking at what KD and Kyrie did together, what's crazy is they didn't have James Harden.
Right. That's the biggest thing. Like, it's kind of
imagine being up, damn near 50 points.
Right, man.
With James Harden not playing. Oh, my God.
It's insane because that kind of benefit the Bucks. Like, okay, once like James Harden left, I'm like, oh wow, like the Bucks actually got a legitimate. I thought they had a legitimate shot to win the series, even with James Harden. But after James Harden got hurt, I'm like, James Harden's probably gonna miss the rest of the series. But now it's just kind of like they can't beat them boys without James Harden. It's just like we might as well wrap it up. And I think what we're seeing right now is just it's a difference between. It's levels when it comes to Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's just as simple as that. One's a true bona fide superstar. One guy is a superstar in the regular season. I think that's just kind of like basically how we got to just look at it. When we look at the game and we watch Kevin Durant and what he's doing and operating, skill set tends to always prevail over athleticism in the postseason. And right now we're seeing that once again with the KD and Giannis matchup.
Yeah. But it's crazy. I still think, though, that they have, like, two different, playing styles. And, not to necessarily choose which one I'd go with, but just the idea of, like, KD is just an assassin when it comes to scoring and everything like that. But, I mean, to me, man, I don't think this series is over. I know Game 2 was OD. And, hell, some people even have Harden winning Finals MVP, you know what I'm saying, which, I'm not mad against. But the idea that he wasn't there, I mean, I definitely think that with Milwaukee – going back to the crib, playing in front of their crowd or just getting back to their arena, I definitely don't think it'll be another 50-piece. But I can't see this team getting swept, though, man. I can't. Even though that game was just damn near embarrassing.
Yeah.
I don't see them getting swept. I don't see them going out like that. I mean, but if they do, though, oh my goodness. We're gonna have to have an unfortunate conversation.
I mean, I think we really can have them conversations right now. If you look at the problem with the Milwaukee Bucks is that each and every year Chris Middleton got to be the best player on the Milwaukee Bucks team in the playoffs. That's an issue. That's a problem. So you see the raw numbers, you see the stats, you see what Giannis produces in the regular season, and you got people and fans, oh, he's the best player in the league. He's a top 5 player in the league. And then we get to the postseason, reality starts to set in, and that's a problem.
Well, I mean, I think the thing is, though, is that sometimes when we talk about playoffs, sometimes just guys run into teams that are better than them. You feel me? Like, the Nets are a very talented team. Now, I'm not now, again, the Bucks have to play better. Very simple. I don't want to hear any of that, you know what I'm saying? It's not just that they ran into a better team. But, I mean, the Nets, they ain't scrubs.
No, they're not. But they're not.
This ain't an upset.
But this is
but
not.
Yeah, but Milwaukee got to play better.
Milwaukee got to play better, but it's just like they've had the best team in the regular season and the number 1 seed 2 years in a row. Then they come into this season, they fight their demons against the Miami Heat. They beat them, they sweep them, and then it's just like the same issues where Giannis keeps occurring, and he's supposed to be your superstar. He's supposed to be your best player on your team, and they can't. It's like he can when he hit at his best games in the playoffs. You see like the first 3 quarters, he's really dominant in his best games in the playoffs, and then when the fourth quarter things get a little tight. 5 minutes left in the game, he kind of disappears because his game is relied on athleticism. And even if you look at this series right now with the Brooklyn Nets, they're not really building a wall against Giannis Antetokounmpo. Basically, what they're doing is when he gets the ball, the closest defender that another player is guarding basically is hedging over and kind of like having 1 foot in the lane. So if he tries to drive, that other defender's kind of there. But they're not really building a wall to stop Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Giannis doesn't really trust his pull-up game, so that's a problem. So, and basically, he's like those guys, like, you play hoops. You play in the park. I played in college and stuff like that. Play in the park, play in college, all those great things. And we would do this to players that we know we couldn't shoot the basketball. We would say, we're going to 20 feet his ass. We're going to 10 feet his ass. And we're seeing that with Giannis in the playoffs, and who's a MVP, an NBA player. They 10 feet. They're 20 feet. They're like, shoot the ball. And that's like mentally, like, to know that your opponent is doing that to you, that has to do something to you. And I don't understand, like, how you can have that happen year after year and not get in the lab and not work on your game. Because mentally, I would know if I was a player, like, yo, people saying 10 feet his ass, 20 feet his ass. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing you can experience as a hooper is, like, you got the ball coming off a PNR and someone's yelling, yo, go under. It's like, well, damn. If that's how you really feel, well, then damn.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
crazy.
it's nothing. Like, if you catching it and you getting ready to shoot and someone says, yo, back up, let him shoot. Really?
That's wild.
But, I mean, if you don't got the clip, I mean, hey, sag off. Go
off.
under.
Exactly.
But I tell you this, though, once you get that jumper, they don't say that no more. You feel me? Once you hit a couple in a row, it's like, all right, go over that screen. But I think, what I'm saying, when we talk about, that series, it's like that in itself, in terms of making the adjustments, is something that I think can be done because, again, the Bucks still, are a talented team. I don't think Milwaukee is like ran into, a situation where they're not prepared and ready for it. They just had a bad game. Now, if this happens in Game 3, if they get smacked on national television on their home floor, oh my goodness.
So let me.
I don't want to have to talk about that, but we're gonna have to if it does.
So let me ask you, what adjustments do the Milwaukee Bucks need to make going forward in this series to make it competitive?
My thing is defensively.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
exactly.
I mean, it's just scary, man. Like, I think the biggest storyline here is what didn't happen. As crazy as that is, I'm going to bring up the Harden situation again, because if you are down by that much, without a team having their possible Finals MVP candidate, you need to be scared as hell. You think losing by 50 or being down by 50 is bad? Bro, a dude who's capable of scoring 40 didn't even play.
Yeah.
So it's like, defensively, you got to go back to the drawing board, just think to yourself, all right, what can be done? Especially, right, when you got a defensive of the year candidate on your roster, right? So it's like you're going back to the crib, series isn't over, but offensively, I think, okay, you can figure that out with ease because, we know what Drew brings to the table, but on the defensive side of the ball, hey, and let me say this too. I know we throw the word underappreciated around a lot. People have their own opinions about who it is. But that boy Joe Harris could hoop, bro.
Yeah.
That boy Joe Harris, he's more than a shooter. Like, I want people to know that he is not just, all right, catch and shoot, or he just got to
put the ball on the floor.
He can put the ball on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, they
can put the ball on the floor.
They got some. Brooklyn Nets got some players. They got some players on their team. I would say for the Milwaukee Bucks, defensively they were terrible, but when you're playing a team like the Brooklyn Nets, you got to be locked in on all cylinders. So you got to be able to defend them, but you also got to be able to go on the opposite end and make Kevin Durant defend, make Kyrie Irving defend, make Joe Harris defend, because it's just not good enough just to defend them because they're still going to hit difficult shots. When you got Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, two of the greatest isolation players in the history of the game, they can make tough shots. So you got to make it hard for them to make shots, but you also got to put pressure on them on the opposing end of the court and really like make them defend. So you got to your defense got to be on point, but you also got to be able to score the ball. And they were second? I think they had the second overall offense in the regular season, which points again to like the coaching staff, points again to the players of them being successful in the regular season, but then coming to the playoffs being a shell of themselves. So what I would like to see for his adjustment offensively is Giannis kind of got to play the 5, in my opinion, because him being this athletic, I have an issue with athletic, ball-dominant players, because what happens is Giannis is a one-man fast break. He gets the ball. He has the ball in his hands a ton, but he can't play off the ball. And you may need him to play in that pick and roll with Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, play that pick and roll to the basket, maybe have him come off some double screens from the high post to the low block to get the ball easily, get him some touches like that, make him a cutter. move him without the basketball. But it was some times in the game where he was standing on the 3-point line with his hands out, like, give me the ball to shoot. And teams like, shoot the ball. So I don't understand like the offensive strategy that their coaching staff is doing with Giannis, because like if he doesn't have the ball in his hands and if he's struggling with the ball in his hands, and we know the game slows down when it's a half court game, it's just kind of like you got to do something else. You got to make adjustments. You got to put Giannis in a better situation when he's just not being standing at the top of the top of the key, waiting for the ball and shooting this crazy 3-point shot that teams want him to shoot. So it's a problem.
Yeah, and talking about that series, I want to switch gears just a little bit on the other conference in terms of the Western Conference. It's unfortunate, the Mavericks, are now in the playoffs. We saw what the Clippers did that Game 7 one time for Kawhi. But what do you think is next for the Dallas Mavericks? What's their next step?
I mean, their next step is they probably need another shot creator, another guy that can handle the ball and not be so dependent on Luka Doncic. It's the same issue with Luka. It's the same issue with, a lot of ball-dominant players. It's just like when it works, it looks really well. When it doesn't work, it's kind of like they start, you don't have the right teammates. His teammates not doing this. But it's just kind of like, if you look at the Kristaps Porzingis situation, I think it's been reports about how he doesn't feel like a co-star. He just feels like another guy. And people are going to sit up and talk about, Porzingis played bad in the series. Yes, he did play bad in the series, but it was not one play call for Porzingis. It was not one post up for Porzingis. It was Porzingis stand on the perimeter and be a floor spacer. And people can say, yeah, he can do that, but Porzingis can do more than that. Like, get him involved in some pick and roll action. Get him involved in some down screens coming off the post to hit a quick turnaround jumper. So you got to do something to make Porzingis happy, but you also got to utilize your best players. It can't just be Luka dribble, step back. So that's how I look at the situation with the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, and it's crazy though, because originally, like when you just look at like stats, and I'm being a big numbers guy, but you would think it was effective in terms of just his personal individual stats. Talking about Luka,
yeah.
But it's just crazy though, kind of what he's been able to do with that franchise. I know originally, like I don't know why, but folks compared that duo to like Nash and Nowinski. I never was a big fan of that comparison. I think that's disgusting, but to see what Luka has been doing on an individual level, MVPs are on the way for that young man, like straight like that. I mean, championships and bringing playoff success, I think will come over time. But I think honestly, man, within the next 2 or 3 years, we might see, Luka getting that MVP award. To be honest with you,
MVP is something different. But I don't know about like winning success. Like, to be honest, in the Western Conference, it's tough to win in the Western Conference. Like, it's not the East. It's hard to win in the West. So I don't know, like, unless they get better, like, what can they do to, like, make this roster better? Like, even if you trade Kristaps Porzingis, if you try to go after another player, you're probably going to have to trade Kristaps Porzingis. That's not really the ideal situation. The ideal situation would be to keep Porzingis, have him play the third star role, whatever, and then have another guy play the second star role. So, like, maybe like a CJ McCollum or something. That would be probably a great fit for the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, I had a feeling you was gonna throw that name out there, and that just talking about Portland. I won't jump into that conversation yet. What's going on up there in the Northwest. But I mean, you know what? Hey, Dallas was one game away from being a possible championship contender. You feel me? So
who's one game away?
The Dallas Mavericks.
One game away from being what?
From beating the Los Angeles Clippers. What you mean?
Beating, you said championship contender. Beating the Los Angeles Clippers. Oh, okay. Beating, you said championship contender.
Are the Los Angeles Clippers not a championship contender? I'm confused. Am I saying something wrong?
No, I thought you was making it seem like the Dallas Mavericks were, even though if they would have beat the Los Angeles Clippers, they were going to be a championship caliber team.
Oh, hang on. I'm all for no pump fakes, but let's make sure
slow it
the
down.
Wrong thing ain't being said. Yeah, I'm not saying the wrong thing. No. I'm saying the Clippers, but them being a contender. Obviously, anytime you got Kawhi and Paul George, on the same team, I mean, just automatically you're a contender. Them, being,
that makes sense.
On one game, that make that very clear.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's tough. I think, I think they could definitely use another star that'll definitely help, take the burden off Luka in terms of having to carry the team. every single game, it seems like. But I do like the pieces that they have, though. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that team in a way works, effectively around Luka. But I mean, come playoff time, the more creators you have on that court, you know,
can help him.
exactly, it would just help in the long run. But
Do you
we'll see though.
I think it's Luka is great. I think he's phenomenal talent. I think he has the potential to be be a transcendent talent. When I mean transcendent talent, I mean like be known as a one name legend. Like you got Magic, Bird, LeBron, Kobe, Iverson, like one name type of legends. But I just feel like it is a overdoing of his potential. It's been a lot of talk about like, yes, he's a LeBron disciple, but he's also a James Harden disciple. So he can be a LeBron disciple because the way he controls pace, his size, his overall feel for the game and basketball IQ. That's his LeBronness. Then you got the James Harden, the way he draws fouls, the step back, the pureness of his offensive game. He's like James Harden. You got the marketability factor of him being like a Larry Bird because, we haven't really had a white phenom superstar in the NBA. But then it's just kind of like, you say all those things, and then people start talking about like, this GOAT potential that he has, and I personally really just don't see it. So I want to ask you, like, do you feel like what do you feel like his ultimate potential is? When we talk about MVPs and champions, but what do you feel like his ultimate potential is?
I mean, I don't really like throwing the word "GOAT" around so
Loosely,
often, especially. Yeah, like the same way I feel about the way we use legends, like so and so is a legend.
Right.
Like if everyone is a legend, then no one is a legend. That's just the way I see it. But I mean, with the way Luke has been playing, he definitely has potential to be up there. I think I can't compare anyone to LeBron, Jordan, and Kobe just yet. I mean, when you look at the age, right, of what those guys were doing and what Luka is doing now, sure. I mean, he can definitely be in that conversation, based off potential. But I mean, during the height and peak of those guys' careers, championships. Right, that's really what it was, and honestly, on the flip side, obviously not wishing anything poorly towards Luka, but we've seen guys peak at 21, 22, 23 years old, which is crazy to hear and say, but it's the truth. Now, I don't think Luka's going to do that, but I mean, I just want people to like sometimes pump the brakes when we say, oh, he's going to be the GOAT, or he, is going to be better than LeBron. Jordan, hang on, we can give him his flowers without jumping too crazy.
Yeah.
But he definitely has that potential. But I'll say too though, it sucks sometimes to see guys have their primes wasted by franchises, right? Like, and we talk about the Dame situation. Obviously, we want to see him in a winning scenario and on a winning team, winning franchise, winning organization. But it's like, at what point, let me ask you this, at what point is loyalty overrated? At what point do you say, you know what, hey, I love y'all drafted me, I gotta get chips? And
I mean, you have to. It's about your priorities. Like Dame has said multiple times. He's been on Twitter. He said multiple times, like he's gonna be $500 million in the bank account. So his loyalty could be not just with the Portland franchise, could be his money. So it depends. Like Dame got to ask himself. He got to look in the mirror and ask himself this: is if he's okay with not reaching a NBA Finals, is he okay with not never really having a legit chance at winning a championship? Because you look at these Portland Trailblazers teams, they never have been like a championship caliber team. They've been like, okay, they may get to the second round, maybe, they may get to the playoffs, but it's just like, that's just who the Portland Trailblazers are. So you got to ask yourself, if you're Dame, like, what do you want your legacy to be? Because like, if you look at his legacy right now, as great as Dame is, a couple all NBA teams, that's about it. He ain't really like no MVPs, no scoring titles. It's just kind of like, what is Damian, never been to the finals. Like, what has no assist titles? Like, what has he really done except, show up in clutch moments, which is something great, not something spectacular. And I love Dame. I think he's an excellent player. I think he should leave Portland. But that's what you got to start looking at. Like, do you want more or are you content? So it's really up to Dame. So that's why I said Dame got to look in the mirror and ask himself, what does he want?
It's just like, to me, very, very unfortunate that he's had to go through this. I definitely though say that I feel like he definitely wants to win, which might seem obvious, but I think, sometimes when players have to choose between, I don't think it's just like, all right, he's staying there for the bag. Like, I don't think that's the case at all. Like, I think, the whole loyalty thing, he wants to, bring a championship to that city and that organization. But, again, at some point, you really just got to ask yourself that question. And I know it's tough. I mean, because it seems like it's been a repetitive process. Like it seems it's been kind of, the same thing over and over again. But at some point, you look at the history and it's like, all right, I'm not getting younger.
Yeah, that's true.
You feel me? I'm not getting younger. He's still talented.
Yeah.
Every team in the National Basketball Association should want Dame, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, man, we just want to see Dame shine. I think that's what it ultimately comes down to.
Yeah, Dame got to
see him win a chip.
Dame got to ask. He got to ask him. Is it time to run for the grind? Like that's what it comes down to. Does he want to run for the grind? He talks about like he doesn't want to join super teams and stuff like that, and that's fine. But it's just like if you're not going to a team that's going to actually have a legit chance of you winning a championship, then you might as well stay in Portland. Because people are talking about the New York Knicks. What? That's not you drop
Tiger.
You drop Dame on the New York Knicks and this roster that they have right now. They're not winning title. They're a second round exit. It's the same thing.
Hey, I just want to be very, very clear. That was Ahmad Smith that said that to all the Knicks fans. So please leave me the hell alone if any Knicks fans, decide to get active.
If Dame decides to stay, what do you do if you're Portland? Like, what do you do?
There's $1 million question.
Dame's not going to come out and say, I want C.J. McCollum traded, but that's probably who's going to have to be traded. And he's not going to fit you a superstar. So what do you do if you're Portland?
That's painful to hear, man. This is why I said one of the worst cases that you can be or, position that you can be in the NBA is, like, in the middle. Like, you're not terrible enough to get a high draft pick, and you might not be good enough to win the whole thing. So it's like, where do you go from here? And you got a superstar, so it's like, what really can be done with that franchise? It's like I said, man, it's just really unfortunate. But like this, let's get a little spicy. You got any trade destinations where you would want to see him if he did decide to leave? Not saying that he wants to, of course, but if he did decide to say, you know what, let's.
Man, that was kind of like
let's dabble.
that was kind of my cap or no cap
my
question.
Fault,
so I might as well ask you that, and then we can kind of
we can jump right into it. We could, you know what I'm saying?
I might as well ask you that. So basically, we can kind of.
I was about to say before, if you do want to ask the question right now, probably explain the the cap or no cap.
Okay, definitely. So the cap or no cap,
the
cap or no cap segment is just basically like a straight question off the top of the dome, like basically, and one of us gonna say cap or no cap. We're gonna explain why. We're gonna go into that. So this is just like no rehearse, just straight off the top of the dome. So since we talking about Damian Lillard, so cap or no cap, if the Sixers don't make the NBA Finals, should they call Portland and try to trade Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard?
I'm not sure if I could say cap or no cap.
You gotta pick. You gotta pick one. There's no pump fakes.
No. I'm saying. All right.
You gotta pick one.
I'm saying. All right. I'll answer your question with a statement.
Yeah.
If the Philadelphia 76ers do not make the NBA Finals, they should absolutely call the Portland Trailblazers and see what type of time they're on when it comes to Dame. I mean, my thing is, like, anytime you have the opportunity to get a player like Damian Lillard, hell yeah, you should pick up the phone. What the hell? It don't cost nothing to pick up the phone and call. Come on now, it's Damian Lillard. What the hell?
You would give up Ben Simmons for Dame. That's the
you asked that.
That's the cap or no cap. Would you give up Ben Simmons for Damian Lillard? Cap or no cap? You kind of dodged the question.
That is not what you asked.
It don't matter.
We can go back on the tape. No, that's not what you asked. I'm here to answer the question.
Well, I'm asking that question. I'm asking both questions. You didn't say cap or no cap. You dodge it.
No,
you dodge it right now.
You said cap or no cap. If the Sixers don't make the finals, should they call the Trailblazers?
Yeah.
They should. You didn't throw out a name. Did you throw out a name when you asked that question?
You know what I was alluding to.
Hey, man, I don't know a damn thing, brother. I don't know a damn thing. I don't know anything at all. I'm just saying.
I'll answer. I think. So you. I'll answer the question. Damian Lillard, Joel Embiid needs a Kobe. And Damian Lillard can provide what Joel Embiid needs. That duel right there will have a legit chance of winning a championship. So we talk about teams that Damian Lillard should want to go and play with. The Philadelphia Sixers should be high on the list because the Philadelphia Sixers can offer probably the best. They can offer Ben Simmons and Portland Trailblazers would take on Ben Simmons. So that's how you got to look at it. If you're Damian Lillard, you want to go to a team that's a championship caliber team, and the Philadelphia Sixers, in my opinion, would be a championship caliber team. Of course, the Lakers. I don't know what the Lakers have to give. Probably nothing. So I don't really want to even talk about that. Get the Lake Show fans, happy. There's something that's probably not going to happen. But another team.
Hey, man, why you come on? Yo, do you got something against the Lakers and the Knicks?
No, I got nothing against the Lakers and the Knicks. LeBron's on the Lakers. I support the Lakers. I'm just telling the truth, y'all. The fan bases are delusional. And another team I would say, the last team I would say, and then we're gonna let you go. The Miami Heat. I think a trio of Bam, Damian Lillard, and Jimmy Butler is a finals team. So you gotta, like I said, you gotta ask yourself, Dame, like what teams can I go to that's gonna legitimately give me a chance at winning the finals? Who have been struggled to like get over the hump? Because you don't want to just go to a situation where like you go to the Lakers, like all right, damn, you go to the Lakers, you expect them to win a championship, but like for Dame's like mentality, he probably wants to go to a team where he like helps them get over the hump. So that's how I look at it.
Yeah, I can see Dame. I can see Dame Miami.
Be crazy.
I'm sure. Was it you that asked me like which one of these two guys would you rather see on the Miami Heat? Was it Dame or Kawhi? Was it I saw that somewhere. Yeah. And it's like, dang, just the possibility of that actually happening, to Miami. But I mean, yeah, man, I don't want to start the free Dame chance just yet. I mean, it's not that miserable in Portland, but hey.
No, it's miserable.
Hey, no, it's not. I mean, he's still making the playoffs. It's not like, hey, we've seen miserable superstars.
Yeah, that's true.
We have seen.
Yeah, Carmelo Anthony the Knicks.
You like throwing out names.
Carmelo
you like throwing out names.
Hey.
That's not necessary at all. All I'm saying is that we've seen miserable superstars. We've seen prime talent get wasted, and I just don't want that for Damian Lillard. That's all. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to a winning situation, hell yeah, sign me up. But if he doesn't, hopefully, Portland can improve in terms of
we've been saying this for years. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. Free Dame, Damian Lillard, run for the grind. We appreciate what you do. You're a talented player. That's it. It is what it is. I'm done.
The free Dame T-shirts, the free Dame, statements are already here. It sucks, but I get it. Agendas have to be pushed. But speaking of agendas, let's talk about potential free agents for the greatest team in basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers. So,
yeah, you always gotta bring the Lakers out. Like, what potential free agents?
Agendas have to be pushed. So. And again, not necessarily saying that he's a free agent right now, but if Zach LaVine, for whatever reason, I like to throw out, just scenarios, you feel me? If Zach LaVine was randomly inserted into the Lakers roster, I won't say who, we get traded. I don't like doing that. But if Zach LaVine was inserted into the Lakers roster, are they automatically the best team in basketball?
Automatically. I've been saying the Lakers before. I've been saying before they won a championship, I've been saying that they need another third option, but really need a guy that can be the second option and let LeBron James be the third option in the regular season. That's what they need to kind of like keep his body fresh. That's what you got to do. So I've been saying for years, even though they won their championships, I was saying it. And before the Brooklyn Nets got Kevin James Harden, I was saying the Lakers need a legitimate third option. You can't go into postseasons not knowing if your third best player going to be Alex Caruso one day, Kyle Kuzma, KCP. That doesn't work. That formula is not built for success. And the Lakers found that out this year. And even though they were hurt, of course, they were going to find out, even if they wasn't hurt, when they went to the finals. And they didn't have a big three to match the Brooklyn Nets. So it is what it is. So, of course, if Zach LaVine is available in trade or the following year free agency, you go after Zach LaVine. But you also can go out there DeMar DeRozan. He'll be a perfect pickup as well. But Lakers fans.
Shout out to DeMar.
Yeah. Some Lakers fans don't feel that way, but I feel that way.
Hey, man, one episode I think we're just going to have to dedicate to just Kings of the Middies. At one point, we're going to start that segment off with DeMar DeRozan and just the overall appreciation of, mid-range jumpers.
Mid-range assassins.
Mid-range assassins. Me personally, I only like to shoot threes and floaters, but I do appreciate the people in this game that shoot middies.
Can get busy.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about, or at some point talking about Mike D'Antoni's system. Obviously, 7 seconds or less. Either a layup, a free throw, or a three. But one time for those that's still keeping the mid-range game alive. The DeMars of the world, the Books of the world, the KDs of the world. And then, let me stop this.
That's a segment. That's a segment for a different episode.
Hey, we did a swipe through on Slam on mid-range assassins, and IG you only get 10. Let me say that real quick. Let me pause. For those of you that might be new to Instagram, okay, when we do swipe throughs of let's say 10 guys, whatever, you only get 10 options. Okay, so if we do the best layup packages ever or the best middies ever, you only get 10 damn options. All right, so intentions is never to leave someone off on purpose. Instagram has this thing where you only get to choose 10. Guys get left off every day, B. It's like the All-Star team. Not everyone can make that shit.
Not everyone can
make it. Not everybody can eat. I hate to say it.
Paid in full.
I want to give everybody their flowers, but understand, some people have to get left off, and I hate it. I don't enjoy leaving certain players off a list. I don't enjoy certain players not getting their shine during the swipe through. But hey, that's a part of life. Top 10, top 4, someone's got to get off. Someone isn't going to make the cut. It happens. And I apologize, but I just had to say that. I'm sorry. That's a whole nother thing. From a social perspective, that had to be acknowledged, because I get a lot of, where's so-and-so? I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
Hey, guy, it happens. But, I'm sorry. But
we can leave it at that.
yeah. I'm about to say I'm good to go.
You can leave it at that.
Yeah, man. No pump fakes. I appreciate that cap or no cap question. You already know I still ain't pump fake.
I can't tell me running. Cap artist running.
No.
Running for the question.
Hey, I'm just answering the question that was presented to me. That's all it is. It's no ducking and dodging, hesitating, none of that. Feel me? Question was asked. I answered. I've been a catch and shoot player since birth, man. That's just the way it go. We don't. I don't like putting the ball on the floor.
I feel it.
Catch and shoot. You feel me? But yeah, y'all. Feel me? We're gonna see you on episode 2, episode 1. We out. No pump fakes. Peace.